Hey, 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 how's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're doing good. Just sitting here in the solar shed. It's a little bit warm tonight, but I'm taking a look here at the this board where I have my test system, and I'm thinking, it might be time to hook up a Servo GX to it. I got one from a great online person. I got a used one in. It was a really good deal, so I figure it might be time just to see if I can transition over into this. Of course, I leave town tomorrow, so doing that is there's no time like the present to break everything in sight. I'm actually walking around right now in the solar shed just trying to locate where I put the darn thing. Um, so I'm thinking I'll mount it right there in between that test inverter and the and that charge controller, the Victron charge controller. Wow, I don't even see this stupid thing in here. Where is the Servo GX? Can't hardly install it if I don't have it. I don't know how much of this you guys can hear from the BitMiner running. It's been kind of a disappointing day with the BitMiner today. Yesterday I hit 2 blocks, and I'm mining Digibyte coins. I think I can actually, let's see if I can show you those. So you show some of that real quick. That would be kind of cool. So I've been mining the Byte coins, and they're, see if I can get this on the screen. Let me see if this works here. Let's try, we're going to go to this, I think. I don't know if that worked. I'll have to switch back to the screen to see if it worked. Yes, it did. Okay. So this is my stats for my Digibyte. As you can see, I got 9 blocks. The 9th one was today. I hit 2 yesterday. And the day before that, I actually had a banner day where I hit 1 early in the morning, and then I hit 2 in the early afternoon, like a few minutes till 5 o'clock, and then a few minutes later I hit another one at just a few minutes after 5 o'clock. It was kind of cool. And then it kind of went down. It just kind of burned for 6 or 8 hours. Now I've been putting a lot of extra energy into it, so it hasn't just been there hasn't just been me hitting these with luck in the few hours that I normally would be running. I did this intentionally. I can show you the solar shed power totals here. You can see here that I've been pulling in grid use over here, 20, 30, 40, 50, even one day down there was 60 kilowatt hours since the beginning of the year. Kind of testing around a little bit, playing around with the different totals and trying to figure out, which kind of coins I want to mine. At first I thought I was going to do, Bitcoin, but the problem is with Bitcoin is I'm just going to get like a couple every day, and it's not going to be really enough to do much of anything. So I decided instead to go into Bitcoin Cash, and that the odds are a little bit better, and I'll probably do quite a bit of that. But then last one that I've just picked up on was Digibyte, and it's not worth a whole lot now, but it carries the potential for a whole lot. And so let's see if I can say I have let's see if I can get this to actually show up. Does that work? It should. Let me just see why it didn't. Let's see why that didn't show up. Oh, I see why it didn't show up. Let me see here. There we go. Hey, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. And Good to see you. What is it? Nomadic artist? Nomadic artist. Good to see you. Hi, and how you doing? Um, hopefully you're hopefully you're here just for a little bit of fun at the solar shed. I've been doing this last week, just kind of playing around with the solar shed, just coming out and doing some builds and stuff. So nothing special. Tonight I'm going to play around a little bit with the Servo GX and just try to get it over here on the solar wall. And you can see here, I'm just going to try to, maybe I'll put it up like right about here or something, and just kind of play around and test with it a little bit. So hopefully that'll be kind of fun. We'll see what happens. And let's see who else we got on here. Amy, hi Amy. How are you doing? Good to see you too. Welcome back. I know I've seen you before. Nomadic, have you been here before, or are you new? Is it just because of the random night, or have I just missed the name? Sometimes I'm bad with names, so I apologize for it. And he says hi to you, Amy. XRP will be an important coin. XRP, huh? So I'll have to look up XRP. I don't know what it is or anything really about it at this point. The XRP I need a 64. What do they call it? I'm using a Bitminer, an Antminer Bitcoin miner. So it has to be that same formula that they do. Otherwise, I've got to buy different equipment to mine it and stuff. And I don't have enough power to run the one that I have. As you can see from the stats there, I'm already pulling in a big majority of my my power just by doing that. And Nomadic says you love solar and that he's new. Okay, good. Well, good. Was it the evening that got you in here, or was there? Yeah, there's absolutely no stupid questions. I totally agree with that. I'm here for optimistic learning and trying not to ask any stupid questions. Well, Amy, I can tell you from a fact, if you, hopefully I won't give you any stupid answers, because there really isn't any. We're all learning here. We're all learning what's going on, and I get comments all the time. And you've seen videos where I posted stuff about, code violations that I had in my own shed and stuff like that. So asking is the only way to do it. So don't even think twice about it. Ask away. This is why I do the live streams, is for this interaction, because it's the only way. The comments, I get to interact with you guys, but nothing even compares to this kind of interaction where I get to, actually talk with you guys. Man, it is hot out here tonight. I wonder if I can turn that. I'm going to walk away for just a second. I want to turn that fan facing this way. I don't think it's the Bitminer doing it, because it just, it's blowing out the door. But it certainly is warm out here tonight. It's not been that warm for me lately. And I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to do here in the solar shed for the summer, because, man, it gets hot here in Florida in the summer. All right. So no, don't worry about questions. Ask anything. I will answer all of the questions as thoroughly as I can, and that's why I'm here. So the interaction, to talk with you guys and have fun. And I'll be here for whatever feels right. If that's an hour, I'll be here for an hour. If it's 3 hours, I'll be here for 3 hours. I've done them all done. Nomadic, you have an exact perfect statement. No questions are stupid. Absolutely. XRP is what banks will be using. XRP is what banks will be using. I'm going to go take a look at, let's go take a look at what is XRP. I'm not really sure. Let me just see if I can get a screen here to, I don't have an alternate screen tonight, so I hooked up just one screen so I could get this over here in the corner and have, both of these views that were working. Even with a person-in-person one. So let me see if I can go hunt down real quick what the XRP. Let's go see what we can find out. All right, let's see. And yeah, warm. It's very warm. It's kind of very warm today. And I saw one of your videos a while back. I'm going off grid and traveling with my solar bike and train bus bike. Oh, That's cool. It's yeah, I did a whole I did a whole lot of RV videos where I traveled around. I did 18 months in my RV full time. Traveled all over the place, up and down, mostly up and down the East Coast, but I did a little bit over into Texas. I wanted to go down over to the Grand Canyon and stuff, but I just never made it over there. So maybe next year. But 18 months was, it's one of those things where while you're doing it, you're having the fun of your life, and then you get back and you realize all the things that you lost by being in your RV and not being traveling and traveling and everything. And so now it's kind of nice to have a little bit extra room, not have a pedal on my toilet. You know, just little things like that that just kind of get to you after a while. Watching your tanks all the time, having just a simple way to just flush it and don't worry about it is kind of amazing. So let me see, XRP. I'm going to go hunt down. Let's see what I can do here. I think I can switch this over to, let's see, can I go to this one? Does that work? Can you guys see that screen? Oh yeah, okay. So we're going to go back over to this, and we're going to look up XRP. XRP cryptocurrency. And I don't know if the banks are using it, if that's, oh, that doesn't look, well, that's not too bad. It looks a lot, that graph looks a lot worse than it actually is. So what is a XRP cryptocurrency? It is, what type of currency? Trade Bitcoin, Dodge, and more than crypto, blah, 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 blah. What type of it? What type of miner is needed? It uses the Ripple protocol census algorithm. Yeah, that's not going to be one that I have right now, unfortunately. Doesn't use a proof of work mining. Instead, it's a trusted validation transaction through Ripple protocol consensus algorithm. So, well, that doesn't mean that that's not how you find it. How is it mined? Is it mined at all, actually? Or is it just a currency? Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything on that. How do I mine it? You cannot mine XRP because it's 100 billion tokens were created and it's launched in 2012. Well, that puts out bit mining. So it's just a cryptocurrency. So that will kind of rule that one out and just kind of make it they just created it. It's like any other currency, and it's probably going to be, you know, controlled like that. So that's a real bummer. But hey, what can you say? It's all we can do, really. You know. Let's see what else we got here. Amy, never mind. Apparently XRP can't be mined. It was created by all at one time. Yes. Well, sorry, I'm late to the game, but yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the solid state batteries. I've read a little bit about them back in a live stream back about 2 or 3 months ago, and there was a lot going on there. If those are real and they can really make that happen, that'll be really good. Can you guys let me know if the audio is okay? Is it too loud? Does it sound crackly? Do I need to turn it up, turn it down? Just confirm. It looks like I'm getting a little yellow lined over there. I want to make sure that the volume's okay. Nomadic, have you heard of silver coin batteries? A typical 17-hour charge for Tesla makes 3 minutes. Wow. Yeah, but what in the world do you need to... What kind of power charge can you put that much? Audio is great. Thank you, Nomadic. The silver core batteries. 3 minutes. I can't even imagine the 3 minutes. I was talking to a guy with a Tesla earlier today here in my area, and he was talking about it had 150 kilowatt hour battery. Now that means it's 150K Wow. I can't, what you would take, I mean, what are you going to plug it into the grid directly? I mean, you have to go to a high voltage line somewhere to get that kind of power to charge that size of a battery that fast. I just don't know how they're going to make that possible. The nice thing is you would only be charging for a few seconds, you know, well, I guess 180 seconds, but it would just be the consumption of 100 people, 200 people charging all at once. That's a really hard, that's a hardcore um, thing to do. Um, Volume audio is great. Thank you. It's good volume. Thank you. That's wonderful. Wow. Yeah. Wow is right. That's a huge battery, 150 kilowatts. 150 kilowatt hours means that you'd have to have 150 kilowatts for an hour to charge it. And that is, I mean, even a 50 amp circuit that most of your chargers charge off now are only 12 kilowatts. So you're talking, you know, 12 times that size, even 10 times that size is 120, 20 times that size is 240. Most home connections are only 200 amps. So you're well over the capacity of your entire home's connection to the grid being able to do it. And so the only way I can think that that's going to work, if now that doesn't mean that it isn't true. That just means they have to find different charging stations with high voltage charge, because you could go in, you know, for a 12,000, you know, volt charge and get, you know, 1 amp would be 12K, and you could go in for a, you know, 10 amps of that and be at 120 kilowatt hour, 120 kilowatts, just like that. So that's the interesting thing there. I don't know. I wonder if some of the stuff that they talk about, yeah, maybe it is a pipe dream. That's a really good point. I don't know. It's hard to say because you keep hearing it over and over and over. So is it going to be? Is it a pipe dream or is it for real? And that's really you know, what we're looking at here is really unknown. Because they're not giving any real information on it. It's kind of like been, you know, little tids and bits here and there, and nothing really solid that I've seen anyway. They talk about how it could work and all that kind of stuff, but nothing that really works. All right, so the current setup, I don't know if we can see this one over here. You can see this. This is my Raspberry Pi over here. Maybe if I bend down, it'll go down. Oh, it did. Nice. So this is my Raspberry Pi, and it has 2 feeds into the 2 Victron devices over here, the shunt and the MPPT charge controller. So I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to get this, you know, running tonight or not, or if I even know enough about it to do it. I've got a couple of plugs here. I got a couple of USB ports here. What I don't have, if I show that here, what I don't have is the Victron cord for both ends. I have the USB one that goes to the Raspberry Pi. Now I have 3 plugs here that say that 2 of them are for that. So maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. You get interested in solar, and do you recall the system you first had? Absolutely. I'll tell you, you know, that's an interesting story that you asked there, and I'll be glad to answer that, because there is a video that I have based on it. And I'll see if I can find and post you a link. But I got interested in solar when I purchased a house solar system for my house that I'm currently living in. When I went out and left my house for a while, I basically purchased a system. I spent almost $57,000 on it. It's a 13.6 kilowatt hour or kilowatt of power on the roof with a 10K inverter. And I felt when it was all said and done that the solar people didn't really do justice to the market, and that they don't do justice. And I have another video coming out from another customer of the solar industry Monday. And basically it's the story of Karen and her house and the solar system that she bought. And I feel that a lot of these guys, these salesmen, are selling systems and they're not really explaining all the details to the general public. And they're going to give themselves a reputation like used car dealers. It's very harmful. But that's how I got started. Is when I walked away from that, being an engineer myself, I walked away from that and I thought I knew, basically what I was doing. I did the numbers. I knew what I wanted. I wanted a system that zeroed my bill. I got one. It zeroes my bill. Now, what I didn't know was all the details and the ins and outs of how much more cost effective I could have made it, how much of it I could have done with a DIY, how much I could have saved by hiring somebody like myself that just could come in and review what they're installing and say, hey, did you know if you got some batteries, you could do this? Now, the price would change that way, or if you did part of it yourself, or if you, design the system yourself, you could pay an electrician to do it, and it would be cheaper. I didn't understand that when I did it, and I don't think that these solar companies are really giving people a fair shake. So that was the first system that I bought. Now, following that, I immediately, wasn't 3, 4, 5 months later, the house was still on the market. We had already moved off into the RV and was out traveling and everything. And we had come back into town for a few days to basically to basically kind of unwind. The house was sitting empty, and we thought, hey, you know what? Let's go do some work on the house. We'll spend a couple of days at the house. We'll do some fix up and stuff because it was on the market. And it had been on the market for quite a while at that point. And we thought, okay, let's go do some work on the house. Let's do some painting and stuff like that. And a hurricane came. And when the hurricane came, the one thing I thought, okay, I'm in a house. I'm 10 miles from the shore. The RV is parked on the beach up in the Cocoa Beach, Melbourne area, Merritt Island, technically. And I thought, okay, it's not going to be safe to be there, but it wasn't a big hurricane. So I thought, it's cutting across the island, the peninsula, it's cutting across Florida from the Gulf across into the ocean. So I thought, we'll be safe here. Now, what I didn't realize is that the eye of the storm was going to come right over us, and we lost power for about 10 days. Now, I had just started ordering some basic solar stuff. I decided that I was getting involved in solar a week or so before this, and I ordered some basic garbage for solar. Some 12-volt batteries I ordered off of. And I even use those in the solar shed now as that my quote bastard battery, my bastard 48-volt battery are the two batteries that I ordered from China then. And believe it or not, they've been very good batteries. And the hurricane hit, and all I had was a freezer in my wife's coffee truck, but it was full of ice. I had 300 pounds of ice in there because we had just come back from some shows and we were about to leave again on some more shows. And she sets up, if you don't know, she sets up for coffee events. She's the big coffee vendors that you find sometimes at fairs, at big conventions. If you're familiar with Dragon Con, come by and say hi to us. We're at Dragon Con every year, the coffee vendor in the dealer room. You'll find us there, or in the hall. I think we'll be in one of the concessions this year. I don't know. Sometimes we're on floor 1, sometimes we're on floor 2 in the dealer's room. Excuse me. So, but that little solar system, believe it or not, I had ordered 12 panels for the RV. So I'd ordered 12 panels to put on the RV. The panels had come in, the inverter had come in, all of the stuff had come in, but it was all in the RV except the 2 extra panels that I couldn't fit on the RV. So I had 2 12-volt batteries, a cheap 24-volt inverter that I still use today, and so I put the batteries in serial, hooked up a 24-volt thing, laid the panels in the yard, and we were out of power for 10 days straight. Now, I had a couple of things going for me. I got very lucky. First of all, I had about 40 gallons of gas and a very nice generator we used for the coffee trailer, because without it, I was screwed. The solar system kept me with 300 pounds of ice. I was able to use the ice for refrigeration and everything. Now, I did run the refrigerator, but had it gone on for another week or 2, I wouldn't have been able to run the refrigerator. So I got very lucky, and I was able to use that system. And right then and there, I decided that the whole shebang was going. And that was when we went completely off grid with the 6000 XP in the RV. and started traveling and just kind of, you know, I'm the guy that pulls into the RV park and I don't even bother hooking up the power because it didn't going to make any difference to me. My batteries are, you know, when I'm traveling, unless I'm just excessively running things, it's very difficult for me to run. I had 31 kilowatt hours of batteries in the RV. So that's the story. That's a very long-winded answer to your question. Sorry I took so much. I can see I'm redlining a little bit. I am going to turn that volume down just a tiny bit, just to see if I can get that to keep from redlining. That looks a little better. Hopefully it still sounds good. Anyway, that was Nomadic. Your question. I hope that answers it. Cutting edge Samsung silver solid state EV batteries, which use silver carbon AGC anode for high energy density, fast discharging 9 minutes to 80%. Faster charging to 80% in 9 minutes. That is, wow. That does sound amazing. The question is can you do it in large enough scale to run a car? That'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be the solid state battery technology sounds really cool. I just will be surprised if it's as good as they say it is. It kind of reminds me of the other batteries that they keep talking about. What is that other kind that they're talking about right now? But their voltage range is so bad, it's just kind of hard to imagine all equipment being replaced like that. Just found this. Well, I'm glad you did. It's a great subject to talk about. I hope it's not a dream. Yes, coffee. Mine is here. I live on my coffee day in and day out. Unfortunately, I have a little bit of a coffee and solar habit. If you take the two, it's practically all I do is coffee and solar. All right. Well, Brad, I'm glad you liked the story. Really, this is why I do the live streams, is to talk with you guys. I could just sit here and talk all night, but a lot of people that come and go don't find it interesting just to hear me sit here and yammer on about something they had no idea what I'm talking about. So I have a tendency to stretch on a little bit more about it. I wish I'd find another Digicoin today. It's still stuck on that 9, but then only that 1 today. It's kind of very frustrating. I think I could show you the screen here. So you can see here my history. I got the 1 today and 1 yesterday at 2 a.m. yesterday. I thought today when I was getting angry today. I was like, I can't believe I haven't hit 1 yet. And then on the 8th, I got 2. And then the day before that on the 7th was Goldmine. And anything before that doesn't really count because I mined for about 3 hours here. It hit a coin and then switched to DigiCash, playing with that one a little bit. So, but 2,500 coins. Now they're not worth hardly anything at this point, but I tell you what, if at some point in the future they mature, that's going to be fun. Take a look at the status of the system. Battery sitting at 64%. Looks like the miner is still running for the day. It's got an automatic shut off. I don't know if you guys were here for the connection I did on that. So the BitMiner now has a bunch of automation rules that I use to turn it on. So basically at 9 or 10 in the morning, if if there's solar outside of 400 watts or more, it automatically turns the BitMiner on, and then it runs until the battery is either the battery has to be under 40%, the solar has to be under 300 watts, and there has to be no grid power running. Occasionally I like to extend it, so I'll turn the grid on, and if I turn the grid on, then it just keeps running until I shut it back off. But you can see all the different systems. So the one we're upgrading tonight, I have merged this test system and this coffee volts here, and I think I could show you that on the camera. Let me see if I can get a camera to show you that real quick. Let me go back to this screen over here. So this is the coffee one is in this tub right here. And this is just a big giant, I'm going to loosen this camera a little bit so I can move it around. It's just a big giant tub, and inside here is the 24-volt battery. So I ran battery cables over to the bus bars here so that while I'm out of town and I'm not using the coffee trailer because we're going this week to a coffee event in Atlanta, it'll be basically be I didn't have I don't have two charge verters, so I couldn't basically put all the power on two different systems. Where if you notice on that other screen that I had two charge verters that come in, and those are basically just little plugs that I use, and I plug in the extension cord to whichever one I think is going to go next, and then when it triggers, you can't see that, can you? Let's try this other screen here. And when it triggers, it basically turns this wall plug on, and those are how I get those to work. So I configured two of them, and I just kind of swap back and forth. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Two great fuels of the soul, yeah. Solar and coffee, you got that right. Caffeinated electrons, yeah. And a lot of them. It's what time is it here? It's 7:30, and this is probably my fourth or fifth latte of the day. It was Saturday, so I kind of spurged, and I'm traveling tomorrow. I'm on the road all day. So, and then of course I follow that up with a Mountain Dew too. So anyway, yeah, you too. All right, let's get this. You guys keep talking. Dragon Convention. Do they have room for? Let me see. Dragon Convention. Do they have room for artists, or do Celtic stained glass and jewel? Yeah, they have a dealer room that's huge. I mean, Dragon Con is just tremendously large. Let me see if I can get you a website real quick. And yeah, I don't know what their limitations are. It took us quite a few years to get in, and let me see if I can find their website for you. Dragon con dot is it org? Dragon, I gotta spell it right. Dragoncon.org. Yep, that's the one. All right, let me show you what this. Here's the screen that it looks like. It's just a huge giant show. Probably 80, 90, 100,000 people there. They take over the whole downtown Atlanta. There's a parade that goes through the city and everything. And it's one of our biggest coffee events of the year. I'll put you guys a link to that over in the chat, so you can find it if you're interested in it. Let's see if I can put that there. There you go. But that's a fun event. It's a very fun event, and if you're into comic books or you're into that kind of thing, then that's definitely one of the ways to go. It's the largest event in the world, and if you do go, make sure you come see us in the dealer room. You can't miss us. Just ask for the coffee shop in the dealer room, and you won't be able to go. And hopefully, I'll get to see you there. Nomadic, where are you from? You from the area here, or are you further away? People come from all around the world to go to Dragon Con. It's right there at Labor Day every year, so it ends on, that Monday is its last day, the Labor Day Monday. And then so it runs from like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think Thursday, though, is just like events like that and stuff. Events like, I don't know, Q&As and that kind of stuff. The dealer room is only open from Friday. Wow, look at that dirt I got on my hand from something. It's only open on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So 4 days there. So, you're more than welcome. Right up my alley. My third addiction, comic book memorabilia type stuff. I don't actually do the comic books a whole lot, but I love the movies and that kind of stuff. And I look forward to seeing you. Make sure you tell me who you are, even no matter how busy I am. Just tell anybody up there. They're all my wife's employees, so they'll know who I am. In Colorado, moving to New Mexico. Oh, well, you got good sun there. You can do only one better than that is over in the Arizona area. You can get a lot of good sun over in Arizona. It's just crazy. All right. You guys keep talking. I'm going to look over every now and then. I'm going to see if I can get a wire or two here connected. See what I can do. I noticed that got a whole lot clearer when I moved that camera over there. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good view there. Let me see if I can put that picture in picture so we can There we go. All right. So I'm thinking we put this here and I just give it a shot and see what happens. Like, two cables are right there. I can just move them. Oh, hell. I got them all tied down. Well, then I'll untie them. There's plenty of slack. So I got plenty of room here in the slack. I'll just untie them and take them out of here. And oh, it's this end I need. Oh. Well, that's different. Let's see. Let me see what I got here. Let me see. Do I need anything else? I got internet connection or Wi-Fi connection. And if I'm testing a battery, I wonder if I should just put this over here. And then that way I don't even have to move those cables. I can just mount this on the wall right here. And this is how it always goes. You think you know exactly what you're going to do, and then as soon as you start doing it, it changes on you. I'm just curious, though, if I get the cables that I saw for the Victron, the VE direct cables are really short. They're like 3-foot cables. And I just don't want to move them all the way over here and then have to move it back over there. But I sure like the idea of it being right where it was. And I've never hooked one of these up. So I got a screen monitor there. And if I was going to put a monitor up, I probably want to put the monitor up here anyway. Maybe I ought to just do it over here and just see what happens. I can always just pull these cables up and plug them in from now. And if it works, great. And if it don't, it don't. And if I have to move it, I have to move it. So let's get started. Let's just do it. I'm going to find a bucket of, walk over here and see if I can find my bin of screws. I'm assuming that bit miner running isn't, you guys don't hear any of that in the background. I got a fan and the bit miner running. So I just got a big thing of screws here, and I'm just going to see which ones are going to work the best for this. I think these little ones here will be just fine. We'll just put these in. And let me find a screwdriver. I didn't pull any of the tools, so I'm going to be walking back and forth half of the night, grabbing tools. And let me see, I'm going to throw these cables over here out of the way. Throw the box, the wrapping over there. What did I do with the screw? Oh, there they are. All right. And of course, the battery's on the charger way over here. So let me go over here and pull the battery. All right. That's just this is the big drill. I don't know. There's the little one right there. I like this little one because it's really light. You know, it's just super light and it doesn't weigh a whole lot. I'm thinking right about that. I'm going to put it right in the same hole it's already here. It doesn't matter. This is just a piece of plywood that I made for one of my very first live streams. I built a 12-volt system, and this was originally used for that. Now I'm just going to put a few screws in here to hold it in place. And a lot of people just kind of wire, just wire things up and just leave them laying out on a table. I like to put them up on the board, and I've got to get better at making the cables and stuff look nice, though. That's the part that's always a challenge for me. I don't know if you guys know it, but this piece down here always seems to, even when I take the time to route them all like this, they always seem to kind of look messy. And I just haven't quite figured out what or how to go about fixing that yet. Maybe I ought to buy a couple of, 4-foot, 4x4 inch or 6x6 inch metal conduit to put it out there or something like that. I don't know. I can never make them look nice and pretty. You see some people's systems and everything's like all perfect and lined up. And I did see one system where they took everything on a wood piece of board like this, and all the wires went straight behind into the wood, and then the wires ran behind the wood and then only popped out where they needed to. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it matters. All right. I see you, Nomadic. You can only hear me in my voice, so that's good. I'm not affecting you guys with the noise in the background. Sometimes the noise canceling on these things is fantastic. I did a video once of reviewing an infrared camera or a heat camera, and I was showing my diesel truck running and stuff, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to hear any of it. And it canceled the whole motor out. All I could hear was me talking, like it was just any day, like the motor wasn't even running. I'm like, wow, it was mind-boggling. Of course, I'm yelling, well, now I'm going to try this. And you're watching the video going, why is he yelling? It was kind of funny. All right, so that looks pretty good right there. What powers it? Oh, that's the big one here, is what powers this thing. So we got a power cable here. So it looks like we got a negative and a positive, and it runs to power in right there. Okay, so if this goes here for power in, I just want to know which way it plugs in so that I can I should have looked at this before I mounted it. Okay, so it just plugs in like that. No big deal. All right, so let's go ahead and get that mounted first. Let's just mount the positive and the negative, and I got to work around this big case here. So let me find the 13 millimeter ratchet here, and I'm going to try to put this on parts of the battery that's not in use. And this battery is live and active. I'm not going to shut it off. It's 24 volts, and I'm only going to be playing with low voltage, or with the low voltage wires here. So it shouldn't be a problem. And I just got to be careful not to short anything out, or I will lose a fuse. All right, we're going to run that down. I'm not going to over tightening them because they don't need to. They're not going to pull a whole lot of voltage out of here. Enough to run that's probably 2 or 3 watts knowing Victron. Not going to be very much. And then I'm going to take this one over to the positive side. I've got one over here that's loose also. Now, right now, I don't have an inverter set up to this up here on the wall. I've got the 12-volt inverter. Well, that's not good. Just drop the screw back behind here, or the nut. Oh, I was able to reach it. Good. That's really good. Because the only one that I had, my 24-volt inverter, is in the solar shed here, and I couldn't run that one because it shuts off when the voltage gets over 27.2. So I run the coffee trailer under 27.2. So since I was putting it on here, I didn't want to lose part of the capacity of all the batteries, because I've got a 280 amp hour 24-volt battery here. Let me show you that. Here, with these two 280 amp hours, actually this is 300 amp hours and this is 280. So I got 280 amp hours coming from this 24 volt with them in series. And then there's a 100 amp hour lead time battery in the solar bucket here for the coffee thing. So together I got 380 amp hours, but what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to run it at that low a voltage for the peak. I wanted to automate the turning on and off. And if I go over here, I can probably show you that. So over here, I've got the automation for, I think that's the right screen. The automation for these two to turn off and on for the test solar charge controller, which is the test solar right now, which is this inverter down here below, and I'll show it to you in a second. And then I've got the coffee trailer one, which is the plug that I showed you a minute ago, which is why it's not active, because it's unplugged. But this voltage 26.3, that other inverter that runs the coffee trailer, it shuts off at 27.2, and the it's not high enough for the full charge. So I mean, it would eventually, you know, with absorption and everything, it will get there. But that's, you know, I didn't want it to run that way. I wanted to, while I'm out of town, I want to use as much of this power as I can. So I've got this to set up to automatically charge the battery up and then turn it on and transfer the power over to the big system where the bit miner is so that I can use all that power. Because this has got a bunch of solar panels outside hooked up to it also. So that's kind of what I was doing there and why I was doing it. Oh, I didn't see all these. Well, on Facebook Marketplace for solar and inverter generators. I'm going to get one of those little generators. Yeah, I've got this little one here. Let me see if I can show it to you. I got this one down here that I use, this 24-volt one. This eco-worthy one that I'm using right now, this is running off of the 24-volt system here. And the reason I do that is because it's got a charger in it also. So I got panels hooked up to it to charge. And eco-worthy gave me this and some panels to test. So I'm testing those panels and stuff. But it's the AC output. And so I didn't want multiple inverters hooked up to it to burn that extra power. I wanted to make sure that it could just run full on what it is. So it runs the, it's running from the 24-volt system. You can see the wires run up there and connect. And then this is where the charge inverter is connected. And the charge inverter just flips on the other side of the room and charges it, pulls all the power from this. Boy, I don't know where I got all that dirt from. Something dirty. Look at that. All that dirt on my hands. Probably from that case. All right. So if you're going to get one of those generators, the you can get you pay a premium for them is the only problem, which is why I built this case here, because the cost of this versus, you know, the 1.2 kilowatt hours that this thing, or actually a 2.3 kilowatt hours that this is a fraction of the cost of what you pay for one of those generators that same size. So it's kind of a give and take, but at the same time, they are super easy to connect. Nomadic, do you have a favorite solar panel brand, or are they pretty much all the same? I bought, when I first got started, I bought some solar panels that were on super duper sale, put a bunch of them on the RV, got a couple of them on the coffee trailer. But to be honest with you, everything that I've seen based on what I've seen about them is that they are all pretty much the same these days. I haven't seen any one perform better than the other. The type of panel, whether you want bifacial or not bifacial, I didn't need bifacial panels because I was mounting them on the roof, flat on the roof of an RV, or flat on the roof on the coffee trailer. But at the same time, I did it because they were so much lighter. So I went ahead and that was why I did it. Now, if you're looking for a specific brand that's good, I can give you a couple of suggestions, and it depends on how many you're looking for. If you're looking for new panels and you want to order more than 10, then I would suggest you go out to Signature Solar. They've got some of the best deals, and I think I saw, let me just take you out there and show you if I can figure out how to get to the Signature Solar. And they change is the thing, is there's no just one panel, but so let me just show you what I mean out here. So what do they got for specials this week? I haven't even looked. Flat rate shipping, $350 for over $3,000, and $50 off. And I've got a coupon for $50 off also, so I'll make sure I post that so that if you order anything, you can use the coupon. And I'll give you a link here for it. Just to give me just a second here, and I'll. Matter of fact, let me get you a link real quick, and then I will. That way you can look while I look if you want. I think that's the one I want to give you. Make sure. Yeah, that's not the right one. Some of these links changed since I did the Black Friday stuff. So I want the generic panel one for you. That way all the specials show up at the top. There it is. It's this one here. Yeah, this is the one. So here is the panel, and we'll go over some of them and the ones I've used and the ones I've heard good things about too. So I will post that here. There's that, and if you do place an order, make sure you use the coupon code MMS for Matman Solar Save 50, and that'll get you $50 off of your order. All right, so favorite solar panel brand. So the ones that I've been using, and where did that screen go? There we go. All right, so the ones. So I've heard a lot about the Jinkos. Now these are at 34 cents a watt. So most of the time you're looking at price per watt is what you're looking at. And I've got some 380 watt ones on both my RV and here. And I don't know if let me see if I've got the brands here that I've got. They had a new brand that basically had replaced them. Where did they go? And most of these you can order by the pallet or you can order individual ones. No, they don't have anything. Solar panels. That is right? New individual panels. So if you're looking for small orders, you can go in here to individual panels. And these Aptos panels are by far the best panels I have ever used. So if you're looking for a good brand, that is the one. The best ones I have owned. I got 10 of them on my RV. I got 2 of them on my coffee trailer. They didn't have these 550s when I bought mine. They were only 380s. But I quite frequently was performing well over 380. They were bifacials and they were mounted flat on the roof and they still performed very well. So any of the Aptos are good. I've heard wonderful things about these new Ware and the URN. The URN are really inexpensive and they're getting great reviews. So that would be my second suggestion. And these, I believe you can order any of these in as few as 10. I think 10 is the minimum order. And so then you got to, you can go from there. But hopefully that answers your question. If you're looking for used panels, there's, Q-Cells and the Canadian ones are those are the 2 brands that most of the time you're going to be able to find. Those are what I found for all of my used panels when I go out hunting them down. If you're interested in that, there's a video out there on how I find used panels and all that. But that's what I would suggest there. Did he answer your question on famous brand? And I think I just did. Just now getting to your comments, but that's the one. But yeah, if you're looking for that, the finding used panels is they don't perform as well. The ones I have perform at probably 70% of their original stated value. And most of the ones that you're going to find used are going to be 250, 260 watt panels. So you don't want them on, if you're putting together a new system for your house, you're not going to want to put those panels on your house. You're going to want to put those panels. In, like I did for the solar, out in the solar yard or whatnot. But no, Quick Coat, not just another signature solar ad. They asked exactly which panels I preferred, so I pointed out which ones they were. Sorry, you walked into the middle of that one. But no, that hasn't been what it is. We've been installing the Victron device here. So, but those are the panels that I suggest if that's what you're looking for. And if you're looking for used panels, there's a video out there that show you how I find them on Facebook and that kind of stuff. And that would be what I would suggest there. Hopefully that will take care of that question. Now, where was I? And of course, you are welcome, Nomadic. No problem. If you have any other questions like that, please let me know. Now, I am going to switch back to our screen here where we were working on installing this Servo SGX. So we got it mounted. I think I'm going to take a chance and just see if I can just switch it over. Oh, you know what? It's going to want Ethernet. I don't have a cable long enough for that. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I've got an Ethernet cable that's long enough to reach all the way across. I don't think I do. Maybe I can make do by putting a little switch or a hub in the middle. Kind of set up a piece of the pile. I'll let you guys watch me as I roam around in here. Scrummaging for the, whoops, wrong one, huh? We'll see if I can scrummage for the right pieces. I don't know if that's going to track me. Oh, it is. Wow, it's nice. I opened up the back door. You can see the bit miner running here. So this is the new cabinet that we put up for all of the different solar stuff. So I've got a couple of hubs here. I might be able to use a switch, not hubs. I might be able to use a switch. That plug don't fit. Well, let's see what we got here. I don't have a... And if I can get two of these to work, maybe I can string one over to here and string another one over there. That's probably a stretch. I don't think that's going to... Oh, look at this cable. Maybe this cable's long enough. We can try this. I didn't even think about the fact that it's going to want a permanent connection. So I may be barking up the wrong tree here. Let's just see. See how long this is. See if I can get it to even stretch that far in the first place. If I can, then we'll think about doing the rest of this. If I can't, then we're kind of stuck. And let me just see how much of this is going to work. Kind of a rig here for, but it doesn't need a lot of bandwidth. It just needs enough to make it run, you know. Let me see. All right, so there's that. Oh. You know what I could do? I could hook up the wireless. I don't know if I have those anymore. I had one of those where you could plug into an outlet and connect two plugs. And so that would allow me to put it over here without a wire. That could actually be a long-term solution. If I've got those somewhere, I may have to run and see if I can hunt those down. If I've got those, that would actually be a long-term solution. So give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna run off into the house. I think I've got those in there, and this will allow me to put the two boxes at different places in the two different places. I can plug one in and a plug over here and one in and a plug way down there, and then the two will connect to each other. So give me just a second. I'm going to run inside and see if I've got those in there. If I do, that's great. If I don't, then we will know. I'm going to set my microphone right here. I don't know if it's going to reach far enough for it, so it'll be off for just a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to switch you guys to this primary view while I'm out of here. I'll be right back. All right. That worked out well. I had found those a few days back and hadn't used them since. But these are really very simple. You basically have a plug at the end. You plug them into two outlets on the same in the same house, and they basically become your Wi-Fi connection live wire ports. So I'm thinking I can plug one in over here on this plug, on this wall, right down here, and then the other one at the other end of the building, and use it to connect these two together. Now I'm going to try testing this to see if these two connect right now to each other just from here and here. And let's just see if they do. I got two different ports going on here. Second one's right over here. Oh yeah, they already connected. Okay, so those are already wired together. So I should be able to take a wired connection now and hook it to this on this end and plug this in down here and hook it to this on this end. And that should work pretty well for passing enough data for that system at least. We'll plug this in here, and that lit up immediately with a live connection. Then I'm going to take the other cord that I had here, and I tell you what, I just can't get this camera right. There we go. And we're going to plug this one in here. And just to test it, I'm going to plug it into this Raspberry Pi and see if it connects. That'll tell me that it's all working. Oh yeah, that went boom right away. Okay, so you can see all three lights are on there now. That means that not only is the device on, but the device is connected to the other device, and that is it transmitting data back and forth. So this Raspberry Pi already switched over to using that live connection from the wireless connection that it had, which is cool. That's going to be great. All right, so let's go back to our original view here. And now we've got the servo here, so we're going to switch this plug. We got the battery connection here, the battery connection there. Let's plug it in so that it comes up. I don't see any lights or anything. Okay, there goes the thing. It's saying no Wi-Fi. There's no internet. And we're going to plug that in. And it immediately, the lights lit up there. That's good. And then I'm assuming that I probably need to connect to it through Bluetooth and configure it. I should read the manual. Manuals are no fun. Okay, so we're gonna. Here's the fireworks for no manuals. Yes, no manuals allowed. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can do this. All right, so if I go in here, can you guys see that? Yeah, you can kind of see that from there. So I'm going to try to go in here from the Victron app. It's showing green blinking light, which I think means it's connected. That's good. Now let's just see if it's been configured. Servo GX, look at that. There it is. I'm going to assume that it's 0, 0, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Nope. Oh, hell. It's got a sticker on the side with one of those passwords. I'm going to have to go find my glasses, guys, because I can't see that crap. What I could do, though, is take a picture of it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a picture of it. And just write down the code. And then I've got it to work with. Let's just do that. Let me just go over here and let's see. There we go. Can't tell if that has the Wi-Fi code on it or if it's this one down here. Oh, it's this one down here. Okay. Now let's go take a look what the code is here. Wi-Fi key, Wi-Fi MAC. Huh. Got a Wi-Fi information on it, but I don't see any Bluetooth. Scan to connect Wi-Fi. Oh, well, let's try that. Join. Nothing happened. Let's try shutting down everything. Maybe me having it open sometimes has problems with it. So let's try again. This is what I get for not reading the manual, right? And I think I'm already joined. I am. I'm already joined. Okay. So now that I'm joined, what? Yeah, I need to reset it. I can see here on this app here, you can see it's got, I bought it used and it's got somebody's Subi solar shed. So it was a solar shed already. So now I need to figure out how I can disconnect it or reset it. I wonder what that other label is over there. Was that the blue Wi-Fi connection port? Maybe I can reset it from that one. It is... No, that one's not Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi key. Well, hell. There's got to be a way to reset it. That, or I have a connection out here on the computer. Maybe I could connect that way. Maybe it's going to tell me what it's connected to. All right, let's try that. 172.24.24.1. All right. 172.24.24.1. Try that again. I got numbers wrong. I didn't like that. 172. Oh, what the hell is it doing? It is showing it's connected to the wrong network. Well, that's no good. But it was connected here a second ago. I saw it. So what happened to it? Let's try looking at the router on my end here and see if I can just find it. Let's see. Don't know what screen I'm on here, guys. Let me see. Thank you, Matt. You're welcome. Always. Bifacial question number 1. Are there any angled ground mounts? Should I wrap the base wood and to increase reflectivity and light availability in the back of the panels? You do get some reflective if the back is white, you know, if you use ground rock or something like that. I played a little bit with some reflective stuff, but it wasn't near as productive as I thought it would be. And I saw quite a bit off of the flat mounts right on top of the RV. So it can go both ways. Dune movie, yes. It's been many years since I've seen a good Dune movie. All right. Where are we at here? Trying to get this to work. I don't know. Let's try it. So it's connected again. Access point green means it's active. Blue means it's connected. So it has a Wi-Fi access point. So it is connected to the Wi-Fi. And you can see it blinking right there on the screen. So that's what those lights mean. So I guess it is coming down to, let's figure out how we reset the reset factory defaults to Servo GX. To the reset factory GFAC, see if let you guys read this too. The factory reset your Victron Servo GS. The most common method is to use a USB stick or an SD card with a special reset file for a brick device, performing a firmware refresh. Both involve preparing a file on a computer, inserting a servo, and powering it up and waiting for it to complete. Remove the card and cycle it. Oh, well, that stinks. For non-bricked device accessible, behave poorly but still boots. Demonstrates how to perform the factory reset. Download the file, blah, blah, blah. Copy the stick, put it in, wait. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do all that. Defaults to Servo GX. I want the Bluetooth password. Reset your Victron Bluetooth passwords. First, try the default of 060 connection app. If that fails, use the puck from the device's label to reset the pin in the app device to perform the factory reset using the USB card. Okay, so if it's got a... Then I'm going to pull this thing off the wall again so that I can see if I can find the puck. I didn't see it on either one of those stickers, but I'm hoping there's another sticker on here that I'm just not seeing. It'll be easier just to pop out these 4 little screws, take a look at it. And find out. All right, so here we go. Oh, look at that. I don't see a puck ID though. I see the Victron Connect. I see the pin number, the serial number. I was hoping that was a puck. So Victron devices, most of them have like a puck ID with a little sticker on it. And you can, from that puck ID, you can reset your Servo GX. Now, in a lot of cases, what happens is if you don't put the sticker on the device, then you don't have it when you need it. I bought this one used, so it's very likely it was just never put on there. I don't know what the password is, which is probably going to bring an end to this stupid effort. It's very frustrating. It doesn't look like. The one thing I know is I know how it's not going to work now. That's not what I want to do. And I don't know, there's a lot I can do about it right now. Me leaving town in the morning. I'll try a few more things here and let's see if we can get something else to work. Let's try a few more things with the app and see if we can get something else to work here. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to make suggestions, and I will take them into consideration, of course. I'm going to move these screws. Now I'm going to take a seat right here. Hopefully you guys can still see me when I do that. But we're going to see if I can play with this Wi-Fi a little bit. Maybe get this thing to reset. If I can connect to it through its Wi-Fi, which I can, and I have the password for the Wi-Fi, then I'm hoping now the one thing this phone doesn't seem to do is it doesn't launch the app, the connection app. I'm wondering if maybe that's what the problem is. I've got my old phone here. So maybe if I disconnect this one and instead connect it with this one, I've noticed that sometimes this phone will go into an automatic login style screen when you bring it up on this one. Oh, this one, see, this one asked for a password and the other one didn't. So that makes me wonder if maybe it wasn't connecting. I don't know where it would have thought it got the password unless it got it from that scan code. That's an interesting thought. Let's try scanning it and see if it actually makes a difference. Join this Wi-Fi, yes. I see it just takes it and goes, and then I come over to the Wi-Fi and it connects. And it connects to it. Ah. Now it did not launch any kind of login window though. That's where I would have expected when I'm configuring like a router or something like that. It would have launched it. Just trying to get through this thing. It looks like I'm going to probably have to take their suggestion and build a USB and reset it with the USB. I don't think I'm going to have much of a choice here. 172.24.24.1 is the router. And my IP is .17, so it issued me an IP and I'm connected to it. Let's just try 172.24.24.1. Oh, wait. Before you continue, connect to your GX locally uses self-signed certificate, causing your browser to flag it as untrusted. This happens because the valid certificate can't be issued on the LAN address. Please accept the warning message on your browser. Okay, continue. Advanced. Proceed anyway. Well, look at that. I got a login prompt. All right, so now let's see if I can use the password off of the device. Wi-Fi key. I'm going to assume that's the key. So it says password here. It says key there. I'm going to try key. Login. Incorrect. I want to double check and make sure I typed it in right. Because chances are it was changed anyway, so I just wanted to see every letter, make sure I get them all right. 6. Yeah. Unfortunately, it has been reset. So even though I could get into the Wi-Fi, using the sticker, I wonder if yeah, I don't see anything that's working here. Unfortunately, I'm back where I started from. It got me into the Wi-Fi, but it doesn't give me the password to the GX itself. So even though I can log into it, I can't. I'm going to try the Bluetooth again. I'm shooting at the dark here. I mean, I'm just assuming that something is set back to its default settings and something, but it looks like I might be wrong and there may be no way in. And if that's the case, then I'm kind of doomed anyway, and there's nothing I can do to get in tonight, short of building a drive, flashing it, and all of that, and I'm just not up for that tonight. So I think the idea here is going to be, let's see what am I doing here? There we are. Let's see if there is anyone who's got work with Victron before that has any knowledge of exactly how to do this short of a flash. Although maybe flashing it isn't that big of a deal. Let me go back and look at those directions again. I'll share the screen with you while I do it. So the reset factory servo SGX. To reset the factory servo GX, the primary method involved uses a USB stick or an SD card and a special reset file. Insert it, boot the device, and wait for confirmation beeps and flashes. Remove the card and power cycle. Alternatively, it's not bricked, so that should be pretty straightforward. If I go to their site, reset to factory, download this file, copy it as, don't unzip it, rename it or blink it or anything else. Just put it onto in a blank formatted 32 bits. Okay, let me find an SD card then. And now, does it want an SD card or does it want a USB stick. Oh, it's got a USB plug right there, and one of those USBs is a USB stick. Okay, that's even better. Okay, so let me... This should be easy. I know I was worried about the USB stick only because the other day I broke one on that Venice system over there and had to replace it, and I could only find one. Now I need a USB, just a regular old USB memory stick. I just had a couple the other day. Where did I put those? Seems like everything you need is there until you want it, and then you can't find it. And I've never really taken the time to, since I moved in here, to clean the shed. I've been just trying to get things back up and running, and never really took the time to organize everything. I think that's going to have to be a priority when I get back in town after next week. All right, I got to go grab a memory stick. I don't believe I don't have one, is what I'm kind of surprised about. Wait a minute. There was a... I think I do have one here. I just got to find the right little... The right little box. And if I can find the right little box, here we go. Just need a little USB. There we go. Little USB. Look at that. All right. Let's just see if we can... That has an extra memory stick in it too. That's funny. Yes, I was looking for that the other day. I couldn't find one. Okay, so let's plug this in. Hopefully it's just going to mount a USB on my... I'm still sharing the screen with you guys. I am. Okay, so let's just go over here and take a look at... I don't see it. See my computer. I don't see the drive. Well, why not? It's blinking like it's reading it. Well, there it went. Look at that. All right, so let's just erase this into a... It said FAT32, right? I'm going to go double check that's what it said. FAT32, yep. And get this file. And we're going to go back to this device, which is now empty. And we're going to copy that on there. And then we are going to... It's only 3K. Okay. Then we're going to eject it. Copy it onto the blank disk. Boot on that drive. Okay, so take this out. And I'm going to unplug this now. plug it in here. Oops, I need to show you guys. So I unplug the power from here. And then I'm going to plug in the flash drive here. And then I'm going to plug the power back in. And it says that then I should boot with the USB SD card, insert it, wait for the GX to fully start up. Remove the SD drive card from the GX device and then power cycle the device. Alternatively, when available, use the reboot function in the settings general menu. Okay, well, let's see if this works. I don't know how long fully booted up means, but let's just give it a little bit. Gosh, I hope that's plugged in all the way. I haven't seen it read that card yet. Usually it lights up when you do read it. So hopefully here as it's booting up, it will, well, it just went live online. That's good. That means it can see the internet. And then it just got to that. I don't know where in this cycle it does the reset. Or hell, if I've even got it plugged in the right spot. But it does show USB port here. I don't see anything else that looks suspicious or odd or anything. And there's a micro SD slot here. So boot with the USB drive or the SD, insert it, and wait until the GX fully starts up. Now, I did it with the USB. I could also do it with the SD card down here, I guess. Once it's fully booted up, and I'm assuming it's fully booted up now, remove the card and cycle the device. So let's unplug it again. And plug it back in. Now, I don't know if it's really going to be that easy or not. I don't know if any of you have ever done this before, where you're resetting it when you get it used and it doesn't come with the puck ID, because usually you can use the puck and you can just reset the pin number, go in with the Wi-Fi and do whatever you want. I guess we're going to find out here if the Bluetooth is reset. It probably will allow me to connect with the password 0000000000, however many 6 zeros are. I don't know. I'm guessing, and I haven't done any reading. I didn't have a manual, so I'm just kind of like looking things up as I go and trying to get it to reset. Okay, it looks like it's booted up now. All right. So weirdness, I have a device here called Bluetooth. That can't possibly be it. I don't see it here on any of these, but that is showing that it is available but not connected. I'm assuming blinking means available. Green means up at the top. Green blinking means that it's active. Blue blinking means that it's not connected. Okay. So I'm going to click on the one that was labeled Bluetooth and, oh, wait, right there. P3, blah, blah, blah. That's the one I want right there. I just clicked on the wrong device. I got to let it time out. I see it. It just showed up down here. P, I remember correctly, that's that device number there. So we're going to click on that. And I don't know if you can see this, but I just clicked on the device down here at the bottom. It's not doing anything. It just says pairing took too long. Please make sure RCU is turned on. I'm not even sure that's it. All right, let's try Wi-Fi. That seemed to work before, so let's try it again. It worked, allowed me to connect, but I couldn't do anything once I was connected. So maybe now it'll let me connect. Let me see if I am not connected, so I'm going to reconnect to it. Gave it the password, it connected right away. That looks like it's fine. Oh, wait a minute. It says it's got no internet. It's cycling here. It should have. It did connect. Okay, that's good. Did not launch a login screen, which I'm okay with. I'm going to refresh this login screen. Okay, and it came up with a login screen. And now I'm just going to try 6 zeros here. Yeah, see, this didn't reset. I don't think this reset. Okay. Back to the drawing board. What does this thing say that I need to do? So if I go back to this document here, it is saying that I need to copy it as is, do not unzip it, do not rename it, onto a blank FAT32 formatted USB stick or SD card. It's the right size. It's 3K, which is interesting. Okay. Typical reason, device is locked due to forgotten remote console password or model without a screen. Clean slate is desired by user without a specific issue. Device is not used in a test environment, residential data, and blah. Yeah, this is all of these are the reasons I want to do it. So how do I reset? All right, let's try this a little bit different. Let's put this, I'm going to unplug the power. We put that memory onto this USB card, but it also has a SD card in it. Now I'm going to take the SD card and put this in here. It lists both methods of ways to do this. So with that in there, we're going to try it this way. Maybe it will reset differently this way. The Wi-Fi port's lit up, and this one starts blinking, which is very similar to what it did last time. Didn't seem to have much of a difference in the way it's operating. We're just waiting for it to boot up here and hope that we have. Yeah, me too. I don't know if that shows up on this screen. Yeah, there we go. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. No, I haven't done anything like this either. So what I'm doing was we're waiting on that, and I'm just kind of looking at these directions here. Just basically says to put the reset file on there, copy it as is, unzipped. For devices running V12 and 3.10, only a single file can be executed. I'm only executing one. Oh, wait a minute. This is This is Venus OS. I wonder if the Venus, oh, it is Servo GX and the Venus. So basically the same OS, right? So it's still rebooting over here. So I don't know if that has, I'm going to give it a little bit more time, but I thought it came up a little faster last time. USB or SD card, which is why I tried switching it, trying to use the SD card until it is fully started up. And that's the problem. I don't have any way to know if it's fully started up. Remove the SD card from the GX device, power cycle the device. Yeah, the Venus is easy. You just reinstall the image of the thing again. I haven't had any trouble with that. Oh, and it does talk about just take the image and re-image it. Okay. So that I know works. I did that the other night when I lost the when I lost this one over here. Wonder if if I lean down, if it will actually show you. Yeah. I lost this Raspberry Pi over here the other night because when I installed it, I broke off that chip, which is right up here at the top. And basically I had to rebuild it. So that's the way I did that one. I don't know. I'm not having much luck here at all. The only option I really have, though, is to give up. Take a look at the way this, maybe some of these other folks are doing it differently here. So this was the original set of directions that I had, the standard reset. Download the reset file, which is the same file we have. Prepare and format the SD card in a FAT32 and copy the downloaded file into the root directory, which we did. Insert the USB card into the Servo GX and power it on. Wait for the device to fully reboot by 3 faint beeps. Now, I have not gotten 3 faint beeps, but maybe I'm just not hearing them. Remove the SD card and reset it. So this video here is showing it doing it, but he's showing it based on using the screen, and I don't have the screen. So we're back to, it could be booted up and it could not be booted up, and I honestly don't know which it is. So we're just going to shut it down again, take the card out, and then boot back up without the card. And this is where it says it should be reset. So I'm hoping the fact that these didn't come back up means that it actually did something, and we're really looking at it being done. Yeah, you can. There's probably yeah, there probably is, but the screen is an optional component. So I know you can do it without the screen, but I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing is the problem. I'm kind of surprised to see that file is only 3K also. I would suspect that that it would have like a full installation for the default. And maybe it's, oh, look, it is coming back up. Now, a minute ago, it did not go back to green. It stayed flashing red. So maybe it is coming back up reset this time. That is a little bit different than last time. So the Wi-Fi access point, now the Bluetooth access point is up. Now, Bluetooth, I have yet to see show up on a Bluetooth option here. So I'm going to see if it actually shows up anywhere. And I did show up the first time I reset it, didn't it? And I hit it and I tried 00000, and I couldn't get it to connect. It just kept saying wrong password. So it'd be interesting to see if I can get it to I don't see, I don't know what this device is here. I'm going to have it forget. Oh, it's the CarPlay device. Okay. So that's the car. Those are my headphones. That's the Venus. That's the charge controller. That's the shunt. And that's the test Venus, this one. So all the systems are showing up here, but not this one, which is strange. It's blinking blue saying it's not connected. All right, so now let's go over, let's switch phones because this one has the tendency to show a boot up prompt when I connect to things. So I want to close all of these windows. So if it launches something, that I know that it actually launched it. I want to come over here and see if a Wi-Fi connection shows up that's not, although the Wi-Fi was the default name. That's what's really weird here is, and you see it there it is. So I'm going to connect to it. Yeah, I'm missing something. I wonder if there's a default. I wonder if there's a default Servo GX password that I'm just not seeing. So Servo GX default Wi-Fi login password. On the product's label for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, other older devices use 000. Oh, shit. So maybe it is that password that's listed on there. I don't know. All right, so we're going to try this again. I'm wondering if in the app there's some way I can connect to this one right here. Oh, look, it did reset. It reset it. It did reset it. Because before it had that Solar Shed listed, and now it has the name of the Servo GX with a serial number on it. And there it went. It just connected. I'll be damned. Okay. Yeah, let's change the pin. All right, so I set the new pin. Now we're going to go in. All right, so we're actually getting somewhere now. I'm kind of excited at this point. I'm glad I continued fighting this because I thought for sure I wasn't going to be able to do it. All right, so now we are in the app. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can, but very vaguely. I'm going to go in the app and I'm going to change the name to Servo test and hit OK. All right, so now we've got a new name, we've got a new password. The device is there. I want to go into it and I want to configure the network. The network here is showing the access point and the access password. I'm not going to change those. Ethernet settings are fine because it's hard coded in, so I don't have to worry about that. I do want to turn on wow, it has a wireless connection here also. I kind of figured it would, but it wouldn't. Oh, but I couldn't connect to the the Bluetooth, so I couldn't get in and configure the Wi-Fi. That's why I assumed it needed a network cable. Okay, so let me configure the Wi-Fi while I'm here too, just in case it loses connection for one, that it can use the other. So we will do that in... So now it has a Wi-Fi connection and a hard code connection to this, which I prefer the hard code anyway, so I'm just going to leave that over here. I forgot that I had those, and that will make that very easy. Okay, so it connected to the Wi-Fi. So now it has Wi-Fi, it has hard code, it has everything connected to it. Let's attempt to plug in the devices that are going through this Raspberry Pi over here. So I just unplugged the Raspberry Pi. I'm just going to lay the power cord here. And then I'm going to take these two USB plugs and I'm going to plug them in. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to plug them into the two ports on the top up here. And those connect to the shunt and the charge controller and nothing else really more. That should get us, with any luck, and I ought to be able to log in on a screen here too, where you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Let me just see if I can get a IP address to that device, and then that will allow me to all right, let me just find it again here. 10.0.0.115. So if I switch this over here, I should be able to go to 10.0.0.115. And I have a basic servo. Oh, look at that. It has the charge controller and it worked. All right, so let's go in here. It shows the shunt and it shows the charge controller. 0 watts coming in the charge controller. That's perfectly fine. That makes sense. Let's go into settings and let's go down to... This is made to be run on some little screen, so I got to have patience here. System setup, remote console. I don't think this can be turned off when I don't have one on, so it's online, right? Because you have to have a remote console when you don't have... This goes back to can you do it without a screen? And the answer is yes, you have to do it this way through your computer. Hopefully I got that showed where you guys can see it. Oh, I do. Okay. So, looks like we're making progress. Let's go back to... I want to turn on the VRM. There's the VRM portal. And this allows this device to report all of this status to the Victron's online tracking site. And from there, you can actually see all of the different systems that I have and log into them and control them from anywhere in the world. So what I'm going to do is log into my account and show you it before I turn it on so that we can see what it looks like. So here is the Solar Shed Venus system. This is the 48-volt system on the other side. It has a charge controller connected, and it has the batteries running the solar system, the main 6000 XP that powers the whole thing, and the bit miner and all of that kind of stuff. So that one we're familiar with. Then we have this one, which is the one I just shut off. So this one should not be reporting anymore because I just shut it off. That was the one that I unplugged, and we don't have anything connected to it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new system. So this says Testing Venus. I'm going to add the new system over here that we named, and it will show up in its place. So there's the thing, the interval, use HTTPS connection, VRM portal, full connection, and I gotta take this portal ID, I think. Oh, I don't know. And I need to add over here, maybe I need to add an installation of a Venus of a Servo GX. And I need the portal VRM portal ID. So that's this number here. I'm just going to take this screen and pull it out of here where I can see them both, hopefully. Well, hell. That almost worked. All right. There's that one. Oh, why do you do that to me? It wants the screen on your phone to be rotated when it's got an odd size. Okay, that's weird. All right, so portal ID is C0619AB 28EDF. Installation name is going to be Servo Test, and we are going to connect. Ho ho! All right. So now the only thing I don't see was add it to your account. Good, thank you. I want to go back to installations. There it is. And now I have it connected worldwide. That's good. Now there's only one question here. Everything I had for... So the big problem that I see here is, yeah, this all worked. Yeah, nice. Yes, this all worked. And now I have got this problem. Let me show you what I mean. All of my automation is connected to my Home Assistant. And it is connected to, well, these switches aren't, and these batteries are. So there's a plug-in here called Victron, MQQT. Okay, so I need to enable the MQQT, and that will cause it to show up here. We're just going through this one piece at a time. So I'm going to come back over here to the window with the remote console, and we're going to go back out of here and go down to, come on, settings, and then I need to go find the services. Services, oh, there it was. Let's go into services, and we're going to turn on the MQQT server. All right, so that's on now. And we're going to escape out of this. I need to make sure that that actually got turned on. Let's go down to services. And it is. We're going to be doing some testing on this at some point, but right now I don't have anything to connect to it. The only battery that I have that can connect to this is in that 48-volt pair, and we'll have to do that when I get back from out of town. But this allows it to have all communications with smart batteries, which is why I wanted to go with the Servo as opposed to the Venus. The Venus is great for just reporting and basic stuff, but all of the ports that plug in all these different devices and link everything together, that's when you need an actual servo, or if you want one of their status screens to work also. And I'm sure there's variations you can get it to work without that. Okay, so that seemed to work. Now let's try Home Assistant and see if it's already detected a new, oh, look at that. Servo GX, there it is. It already detected it. It's already here. Holy crap. That was easy. So here's the shunt. And it's reporting 16.7 volts. That's it. It's done. It all worked. I'm speechless. I'm truly speechless to see that everything worked. We can I've got to do some automation updates to make sure that that we basically are running the charge off of the right. I'm gonna do some tests here while you guys are watching, just for shits and giggles here. This will be fun. I'm gonna do the capture screen. You do have a copy of me. Oh, it's from the camera behind. Okay, let me fix that real quick. So this got a camera view here of this one, which is not the right screen. And I need to get you the right screen, which is add a camera view of well, I got your picture of me on there. I wonder if it'll track with me. Well, it will a little bit, won't it? Yeah, not a lot though. Let me see if I can expand that picture a little bit so we got the right screen here for this. We're going this far, might as well go all the way, right? All right, let's look at do this, and okay, now we got it. Now you can actually, now I can actually talk to you while we scroll through some of this. All right, and what was that? Yeah, and thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that. That is half of the passion here, is to be able to teach you step by step exactly what I'm doing. So I try to stop and explain things to what would I want to do, or make sure that you understand what I am doing, because it's very frustrating to watch somebody do something and then not tell you what they're doing, and then all of a sudden it just works and you don't know what they did. So if you see something that I did miss or didn't explain, please let me know. I have no problem stopping and explaining it. Okay. So here is where we have the Home Assistant configured. The nice thing about this plugin, and you saw it happen, is it goes out and it senses. I was talking to the developer the other day, and we were having some problems with some of the auto registration type stuff. And it senses the names and stuff for you. And I need to go check that device and make sure that it didn't have it. I don't remember where that level of configuration was. I think it was here under this setting was simple naming, and you want to turn this off when you have more than one device. And the reason being is the entities that are sent to the MQTT, they get mixed up because they don't have the host device included as part of them when it does it. So I had to go and turn that off on all of these in order to get this to work. And he was really, really helpful, and helped me get it straightened out. So now that all of those are there, now I don't know what will happen to this. I like the way that cursor got big. Well, that's kind of cool. I like I like the way, I don't know if this will just go away on its own. So I have the Raspberry Pi just sitting here on the wall. I'm just going to kind of leave it and see if it deletes itself after the server goes away and all the messages time out, because the MQTT server is basically just it's like a message client that allows these things to connect to. And so that it looks like that app is doing nothing but going out and scanning all the IP addresses. When it sees a new one with a Victron device hooked up to it, it just imports the configuration because I turned it on and it's using it. So, but it needs, if there's more than one, you need to make sure you tell it to attach it to this ID here, which specifies that servo and doesn't get it confused with this Raspberry Pi or this Raspberry Pi or these two Raspberry Pis, which were what were getting confused when I originally started using it. So now we have all of that on, and it seems like all of that's working. It didn't look like after I changed that configuration, it didn't change anything here. So it looks like there was no conflict there. That's good. Now I want to take a look at a Home Assistant of the triggers that I have. And let me show you where I've got those set up. So over here under settings and automation. Actually, before we do automation, let's do some of the status screens so we get the right field names. So some of the status screens I've just put here on this main battery state of charge screen, and it's way over here on the right-hand side. So this test volts, I'm not sure where that's coming from now. So what I want to do is come down here to this test volts and see it is coming from the test charge controller. So that did not change. That's the good news. And the battery percentage, this came from the test shunt. So those are the devices, not the servo. Now there is a servo version here of them. So if I came in here and I say, show me the servo, I wonder what they called them. Let's just go over there and look real quick. So if I go in here to the devices, come down here to this, there's this GX device. That's what it is. So there's this GX device, and it has a combination of all the fields from the charge controller and from the shunt. But because and the cool part about that is if you swap out charge controllers, it becomes transparent. And the one that you use here is exactly the same from time to time. That part that he did was really cool. But in my case, I'm not totally comfortable with the plugin yet and how the fields work, and things kept moving around on me because I had some configurations wrong. So I use the devices themselves. The good news is that means that those on that screen are still accurate because it used this device here, this test shunt, which is exactly the same as this test shunt down here. And that way I don't have to worry about it. Interestingly, it has more fields here than here. Oh, so this one has duplicate fields. I have noticed that this is an error with it, is these fields get duplicated and you got to go clean them up. Now my guess is that he cleans them up eventually. I might report it as a bug to him though and see if he can point me in the right direction. I'll give him a patch for it to keep it from creating them. Although it may have just created them because I turned off the simple naming. So maybe it was maybe it didn't change the devices on the list, but it did duplicate all the sensors within it. So let me just get these cleaned out of here real quick. And that way we know we have the right fields when we go to select them. Okay, so this is the shunt. Now, I wish there was oh, there is, right here. I was going to say, I wish there was a way to name this. I don't want to name it from Um, servo test shunt update. All right, so now I want to know, did that name change? I just heard the Bitminer shut off, which means that the battery charge from today at 9 o'clock at night finally got down to a point where it didn't, it was low enough that it shut off. I'll go in here, the automation scenes real quick. And you can see shut off 28 seconds ago. Yeah, that was it, shutting the Bitminer shutting off. I wonder if I hit any more Bitmine packets before the end of the day. Let's just see if I can find the right window here to. That's the one I need, and it's this Digi window. Where did it go? This one. Ah, I didn't hit anything new. What a bummer. That's a real bummer. So I only got the one today. That's a real bummer. Some days I hit 4, some days I hit 2, and today I hit 1. But at least I got the 1, right? All right. That's all we can do it's all we can do. All right. Pneumatic, Amy, thank you both. I appreciate that. It's nice of you to say. It really is. All right. So what was I doing? I was playing with the, I wanted to go see if the, where'd that window go? Here it is. I wanted to see if that screen that we had looked at earlier, if the name changed when I changed it there, or is it still actually pointing to the old one? Which is an interesting question, because I assumed it was right, but sometimes things hang out. So test volts is coming, oh, it's coming from the, that one's not going to tell me, but this one should. Yeah, see, this is test shunt. It makes me wonder if I have servo test shunt battery. Ah, so it wasn't right. Okay, so that was not right. So servo, let's see what that comes down to. So it comes under servo shunt battery charge. And so now let's go over and look at, let's take this one and fix it while we're here. This is, and I need to get the right name of the device. And I wonder if they are the same, if it's just named wrong here. 2626. Let's write that down, and I'm going to give it a few minutes. And if I have to, I'm going to turn on the ChargeVerter to find out. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the ChargeVerter right now. Whoops, done. Turn this on. And I want to see, oh, I just saw it change. It went down to 2525 and then back up to 26. Oh, look at that. So it is working even if it has the wrong shunt name. The names are just hard coded into the thing. So I don't have to worry about updating that. That's kind of good, because it is working, and you can see now the voltage is dropping, that I've got that ChargeVerter turned on. And we probably should be able to see the voltage up here shortly go into a little bit of a charge mode because of the amount of power it's going to be pulling. It should be pulling about 1,000 watts. There it goes. And so it is charging now. It's using what's consumed here, all the power that it uses to run everything, and then there's 506 left going to the battery. Okay, so we confirmed that that's right. So I'm going to shut the ChargeVerter off. That also confirms that the switch is still working to turn it on, that the system is still working, and that the voltage and the 16.6, you know, I didn't check that. I'm going to turn this back on and let it run for a few minutes while we check the other things. So let's go over here to, what did I say that was, 16.6? I need to make sure I get this right. 16.6, because if I leave town in the morning, I'm not going to be able to fix it unless I can do it from logging in remotely. So 16.6%. I'm going to let it run for a few minutes. And we will see if this is also changed. Oh, 16.5, it just went down. So I know it's working now. I'm going to let it run a little bit longer and just make sure. Okay, I don't want to take any chances here. Now let's check the automation scenes. This is the piece that I need to double check is the automation scenes here. So the Antminer, those don't change, but the charge verter for the coffee trailer we're not using at this point. So matter of fact, both of these can just be shut off completely because the coffee trailer is here and it's merged to now with the charge verter from the test system, because the coffee trailer is packed up to go to a convention and doesn't have any refrigeration or anything. It's here in the solar shed being run, which is part of those watts that you saw up there. That shed's running even without the Antminer on. Okay. So let's see if this turn off. Oh, this is good because we can see if this runs by testing this. So this says trigger every minute of the hour. And then if also the shunt battery is below 15, then switch off. Switch off is the question. Oh, then this is a basic switch. So the only question here is this shunt battery, which we know from the other one did in fact go. So if I look at the trace, it says that it failed because it was at 16.4. And so I just need to let that battery, it was at 16.6 a minute ago when we checked it on the screen. So I just need to let this automation run a few more times and we can do it. Now let me explain what these mean. The reason I do every minute of the hour as opposed to just do this when the shunt battery is below 15 is because if I do the shunt battery is below 15 and I miss that window and the solar assistant sees it change to below 15, but the switch isn't there, didn't have it plugged in or whatnot, then it automatically just skips it and it never turns it on. But if I say run every hour or run every minute of every hour, so here this runs every 1 minute of every hour of the day. And then if this is also true, you can see it's triggered again. And then it doesn't matter if I didn't have it plugged in at the time, it will fix it the next minute and check it again and turn it on if it needs to. So it keeps trying to turn it on even if it's not plugged in or not there or not active. Whereas the other one will run, and it will run when it goes below 15. But once it's below 15, it's not going to run again until it goes back up above 15 and then comes back down below 15. So that's why I do it this way, because it ensures that, and you can also come in here to the tracing, you can see when you have multiple ands on that second state, each one of why it stopped. So now it's at 15.8 and it was at 16 point whatever. So that's definitely going down and it's definitely working. Okay. Now what do I have it set to is the question. 15. Oh, so here in a few seconds, it's going to shut itself off. All we got to do is come back over to this screen and wait. It's at 15.6. So all we got to do is just wait here and it should shut itself off when it gets down to 15. And all it's doing is transferring power out of the batteries here at this test system into the batteries over at the real solar shed, the real 48 volt batteries. So we don't have to do anything here except just wait a little while and it will test for us in real live scenarios with all the real attributes and fields and everything. The only thing it's not going to confirm is the turn on. And if the turn off works based on state of charge, then the turn on should work also, unedited. I'm amazed how easily this just switched over. I mean, it created a little bit of a mess on my wall here. We're at 15.4, so we got a few seconds to look at the wall. My batteries on my iPad don't die. So we've got we've got this now instead of the Raspberry Pi over here. And we're down to 15.3, and I'll keep an eye on it and switch it back over. And this is really what a system I use is mostly 12 volts. I've run it at 24 volts for the purposes of us going out of town to do this, but this is the system I use when I am testing batteries that companies send to me to run tests. It can be 24 volts, it can be 12 volts. The inverter that's listed up here is a 12 volt inverter. This one down here is 24, and the one in here is 24. So, and I've also got a Pikachu 3000 inverter over there that I can use for 48 volt if I need it for that. We're going to go back to watching this screen here because we are at 15, and boom, there it goes. And I hear the charge inverter on the other side of this thing. Perfect timing, huh? Switched over just in time for that to go. So I think it's successful. The only thing I really need to do at this point is a bunch of wire cleanup. I may look at taking these cables here. Let me see if I can get to this. Yeah, these cables here and converting them to the standard. What are those standard cords that they use? These up here, the VE Direct cords. I'm not sure if there's any benefits to doing that or not, or just continue to use these here. But this is great for measurement of the system. What is he saying out there? Well, Pneumatic, you're not missing anything. I'm about done anyway. So thank you for coming. I really do appreciate you and Amy hanging out for so long, and hopefully you've got something from it and enjoyed it. It seems like these real live streams are a lot more fun than some of the other ones that I've done. So I'll probably continue to do them like this. Anyway, thank you for coming. I appreciate it, and have a great dinner and a wonderful new year. I do want to say thank you to everyone for all of the subscribers. We hit 18,000 this past week. Thank you so much. And if you're a member and you get early access to the videos, there's one out there waiting for you that talks about a new house, a new interview I did with a homeowner on basically the homeowners getting a solar system installed professionally and how that worked and what they thought of it. So I encourage you to go out there and watch that. Otherwise, it drops on Monday morning, and you're welcome to see it then if you're not a subscriber. It's just a little bit of a perk. It's no big deal. You just get a little bit early access to some of the videos that I release. So, but it does help, pay for some of the equipment and stuff like that. Helps me out with that kind of stuff. But please don't feel obligated to do anything that you can't do financially. Anyway, this system's just used for testing. And we will, from that point, I think that really is going to wrap it up for tonight. I think it's a complete success as far as I'm concerned. I can't think of a single thing that didn't work out the way I wanted it to, which is just fantastic. You guys have been fantastic as always, coming out, chatting, talking, even with my ugly sheetrock background. I hope that I can get, when I get back into town, one of the big priorities is going to be to put a fence up around the yard. And once I have a privacy fence, I'll be able to get all my panels really mounted up on fences and stuff like that. Get a little bit more power coming in here, get them in more prime locations so I have more power to play with. And then that'll give me some time to do some more bit mining and build out some more systems and maybe finish out the shed for construction also. So I want to say thanks to everybody. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Pneumatic. Thanks everyone else that's here. I don't know how many of us was here tonight. I haven't really been paying attention to that. I've been kind of working on trying to get everything running, but you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. And where is that screen? I can't find my screen. I lost my screen. Does anybody know where it is? It's got to be right here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Then everybody have a great night. Thanks for coming. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Keeps the content flowing. Got a lot of cool stuff coming in the future. And we'll talk to you next time. I will not be around next week. I will be in Atlanta. And I will see you guys the following week. This was kind of a last minute live stream that I just did because I wanted to see if I could get this servo to work. We actually did. So thanks for helping. Thanks for watching. And if you were starting from scratch, oh, this is an important question. I want to go back and make sure I get this one. Absolutely, you can ask one question. You can ask 3 questions. If you were starting from scratch, would you use lead acid or lithium iron phosphate batteries? I would not buy a lead acid battery to save my life on the, where is the chat? Why didn't it show up? Oh, there we go. And I would not buy a lead acid battery to save my life on a solar system. Absolutely get lithium iron phosphate. Even if you are looking at lead acid, the chances are you're looking at cheap $12 batteries and you're thinking that these are cheap. The Chinese cheap lithium iron phosphate batteries are almost just as good as the nice ones these days. And to be honest with you, they are going to way outlast anything that you do with lithium with lead acid. Don't get anywhere near the lead acid. Go with the lithium iron phosphate. Not only will the cost be significantly close nowadays, battery prices have dropped a lot in the last 3 or 4 months. The prices are, you can get a lithium iron phosphate, let's say you're going to do with a 12-volt system. You can get a lithium iron phosphate battery off of Amazon for $150, 100 amp hour battery. You can get a lithium iron phosphate AGM, or not a lithium iron phosphate. You can get a lead acid from Walmart for the same $150. The difference is it's lead acid. It's got acid, it's got water, it's got all these things you have to name. So absolutely go with lithium iron phosphate. I have taken these batteries that I got here and I run them up and down every single day hard. And it has been years that I've been doing this, and it does not affect them at all. And I mean, I'll give you an example, and I'll actually show you on a chart here of power, battery power. Here we go. Let me see if I can switch this out before I lose my screen here. So here is my battery status. And you can see this is 90% to 20% practically every single day. And this goes on day after day after day after day. I have an RV that is in there. I ran them exactly the same way, up and down every single day for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cycles. Not only that, on a lithium iron phosphate, you only have half of this power. So even if you did want to cycle them this way, you would have to stop at 50% or you would damage the batteries. With these lithium iron phosphate, I go all the way up to 100. I had a friend of mine that has a boat. He asked me to order him a battery. I was testing a lead time 24-volt battery at the time. It was a great battery. The build quality was excellent. I've actually got it in this bucket right here. And I suggested to him that he get one for his boat. He came back to me about 3 weeks later and he says, "Oh my God, Matt, I made this mistake. I drained the battery. I was out in the middle of the lake and I had to come, it was actually in the ocean, and I had to get back. And I drained the battery all the way down, and then I forgot to charge it while I was there. And I went home and I was tired. I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning, the battery is completely dead, and I left it like that overnight. Have anything wrong?" I'm like, "No, put the charger on it and charge it back up." And do you know, to this day, he's still 2 years later, he charges ups and down that battery every single day on his boat. And he's got no problems. If that had been a lithium iron phosphate battery, it was gone. It not gone. It definitely was damaged and definitely would have shown the wear. So no, there is no question in my mind that you want to stick with 100% lithium iron phosphate batteries, nothing else. I hope that was emphatic and clear enough for you to make sure you got what I was trying to stress, that yes, go with lithium iron phosphate. It's the short answer. All right. Anything else from anybody else? Any other questions? There are no dumb questions. I'll be glad to stay and answer them if you've got any. If not, then we are going to call this to an end. Has it really been 2.5 hours? Doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. We got success though. What can I can't complain. I mean, whatever. This is a working Servo GX reporting and incorporated into the Home Assistant in 2.5 hours, completely and totally. So you guys have a good one. We'll see you when I get back from out of town, and hopefully you get to see the recorded video. Comes out Monday. I look forward to your feedback on that. We'll talk to you then. Have a good night.